Well, I think it's easier not to believe in that, because if you think global warming is existing, you have to change the way of living. And of course it's easier to say, I don't give a shit about that. It's easier to drive to go to work, or to buy cheap fruits or these kind of things. And if you believe in that and you have a kind of a responsibility, you have to change a lot, and that's not easy. So I think a lot of people choose not to believe in that because it's easier.
I do believe in global warming, yes. And I think it's happening.
There have been so many studies, and we had in Paris in 2015 the COP21, the climate conference, and there were so many articles you could read. You could look for the sources, you can look for all the figures, you can see all the graphs, and everything is more or less accessible, and you can look for your own, you can read for your own. So I think people who deny it are maybe too lazy to look for it.
When we start to say, oh, global warming is important, and I think that it's our generation that needs to take initiatives and try no matter what, just by stopping eating meat, or just by trying to take the bicycle instead of the car, or just trying to do small steps and to talk about it to their friends and their family, and trying to convince as much people as we can. I think every causes, every fight needs to have someone would say, okay, I stand up for that, and I think it's important.
I can feel that the winter they're not the same as I was a child. We used to have snow in winter in France, and no, not that much. I didn't saw snow here for maybe a year or two, so that's kind of weird for me.
Most people in school, I don't know, when I was in high school and then when I was at university, were told that the people are the big problem, the majority of the public is, we're the problem, and that's true to a certain extent, but again, the real problem is, I think, at the top of the people, these billionaires and their companies, these big chemical companies, the big energy companies. Those are the people that are really responsible for the pollution and the destruction of the environment, destruction of people's health. I mean, people, their health is not getting better every year. I mean, since the 50s, I think it's getting worse in industrialized nations. If you look at where you have the most cancers, the most problems of sterility, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, all these problems, I mean, they're really almost at epidemic levels. And that's in industrialized countries. If you go to some small region in India or South America, they don't really have these problems, these health problems. Oh, and obviously in nature too, the nature is not polluted. So they're really the ones who are responsible, these companies. So exposing them is a good thing. I think that's one thing we can all do.
I don't know how the world will look like. I hope that it will change and that people will change their behavior. Maybe I'm a little bit too pessimistic to think that it really will change, so I'm a little bit afraid that it will get worse as it's now. And we have some of the consequences, like some of the glaciers melting, or the rise of the oceans, or something like that. I think things like that will happen, but I think we're on the place now, and we have maybe the power to change things, and to especially change things in the conscience of the minds of the people, to get things done and to get things changed.
It will be hell, it will be a disaster.
We're only here for a few years, so we don't take care of our Earth, but still, hey, you are part of the universe, you have to do something. Even if it's little thing, you have to do something.